how has triathlon changed in the course of your careers?
Triathlon changed a lot for me in that I changed. Has the sport changed a whole lot? I feel like, sure, in some ways it has, but it really hasn't, because prize money is the same. Ironman being bought and sold repeatedly throughout my career has basically expanded the amount of race opportunities. And so I guess going from, a handful of half Ironman events to the 70.3 series and having a 70.3 world championship, that was a big change in the sport. And that just, like, races exploded, 70.3 distance races and then challenge halves. So the opportunity to race around the world seemed like it grew. Certainly in the US, there were a whole lot more race opportunities. But again, there was sort of a sweet spot where there was lots of races, pretty good prize money. And then it sort of, prize money started to dwindle. Races lessened in that Ironman dedicated races for age group only and professional only. So while maybe there was still a similar amount of races, there were less opportunities for professionals. And so then, prize money opportunities lessened. Kona has been, when I first started racing, there was a mass start, men and women started together. We were thankfully ahead of the age groupers, but we still started with the men. And I certainly had some of my better swims in those years, because the fields were 120 and you sort of get pulled along in that pack. Yeah, that was great. I remember swimming behind Big Sexy, Chris McDonald, one year, and I'm like, this is the best draft. That was the year, actually, you got out ahead of us, but I got out with, in 2010, I got out with the main pack, like Leanna Cave was there. I'm like, never swum with these people in my life, but it was a year that we were with the men, and I think I was swimming, like Dee Dee was in my pack, and Big Sexy, and I'm like, this is great. So yeah, going from that to like separating the fields and having our own race, which I think was a step forward. Having a women's only race, it was more fair in my opinion, and having that 25-minute gap to the amateurs.
We had to kind of really defend the need for separate, like a truly separate professional women's race. The thing that really got me, kind of really spurred me on to get into triathlon was the very first 70.3 world championships. And I was racing as an age group, and I was like, well, that's what I want to qualify for. And had to really it was hard to find a race where I could actually qualify. I was waiting for ages to see if the UK would have this qualifying race. But now, I think there are so many.
Yeah, the prize money hasn't gotten any better. And I feel like because there've been more race opportunities, I mean, the sport's evolved in terms of, we're going faster than we ever have before. There's more young talent coming up into the sport, which is exciting for the sport. But again, but there's not really a whole lot for them to aspire to. Yeah. And obviously there's world titles and there's Kona and all of that's it's amazing, but it is extremely hard to be able to walk away at the end of the year with a positive bank balance.
In some ways, I was fortunate that I kind of joined a team right at the beginning, like after 1 year of racing as a pro. But now I feel, because of social media, I feel like the athletes are really competing to get sponsorship. They're not just competing with other pros. There's all the age groupers and influencers. And
I mean, there are some amazing professional athletes out there that are winning races, winning big Ironman events in the US, and they're not making anything. They're, barely scraping by. So it's hard out there. You feel like you have to either, be like a genius on social media and doing pretty well in racing, or you need to be just, winning every race and winning world titles.